Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, not everyone is pleased with plans to expand light rail in Phoenix. We'll look at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce assessment of Arizona education, and we'll hear about a collaboration between two art groups in Scottsdale. That's all next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Phoenix is thinking of asking residents to extend the city's transportation sales tax to help fund an expansion of public transit, including an additional 22 miles of light rail. We've heard from the mayor and others who support the plan. Tonight, we hear an opposing voice. Becky Fenger, chair of the group No Tax for More Tracks. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Horizon.
Great to be here, Ted.
Plans to triple light rail in Phoenix. Why not?
Oh my, I fail to see how it's a wise decision in any way to spend billions of dollars to buy yourself more pollution and congestion. See, I got into this almost 20 years ago because I am a firm believer in keeping sound science in public policy formation. And this whole thing on light rail was sold as cleaning our air. You'll get clean air. And what we discovered when we went into the bowels of the environmental impact statement reports is that actually it will give us more pollution and congestion. That is specifically pollution in the air, carbon monoxide.
Right.
But
how does it do? I mean, the
it
whole
does
idea
that
is it gets
because
cars
it's
off
built.
the road.
No, it doesn't. It takes about 1 car and 1,000 off the road. But anyhow, what it does is it takes all these lanes of traffic, of roads, and takes them away for the light rail. It usually takes about 3 lanes to use for light rail. All that wonderful traffic that would be moving down the road now is stopped because it gets right away left. You can't make left turns on many places, so cars are now backed up. They're idling, and idling, as you know, is one of the worst things to give you the carbon monoxide. So the very fact they said it will clean the air, when indeed, although the number is small, indeed it will increase air pollution.
Well,
and the congestion.
Okay, so you got air pollution concerns, and we have to look those studies up ourselves as well.
No, you don't. I've got the page number.
Okay, well,
boy,
right.
Are we loaded for bear.
All right, you are loaded for bear. But let's talk about beyond that particular aspect of light rail. Has light rail in Phoenix thus far been a bad thing?
Well, I certainly think so, because no city in which it's built do they get by without huge deficits. The average operating deficit of the 23 or so cities that had it was the average $200 million a year. You will have constant maintenance, and one thing that is always, not always, but quite often overlooked when you're talking about cost benefits is they don't factor in maintenance and operations. For instance, Portland, their light rail is now 24 years old, and light rail supposedly is supposed to last about 30 years. It's already crumbling. So time flies. By the time you want to do extensions, you are going to be rebuilding, and it's double as expensive to repair a light rail that has been laid and is crumbling.
And yet those who support light rail will note that $7 billion, give or take a couple $100,000 here or there, but $7 billion in investment along the existing line already. Downtown has flourished because of light rail, say the supporters, and that development in Midtown has been helped by light rail. Are they wrong?
Well, you're wrong if you're talking about who has it benefited. Has it benefited a lot? It has benefited those few, lucky few, for which this plan to tax all of the people in Maricopa County, if you're talking about mag tax, or all of the people in Phoenix, for the 0.5%, 1/2% that ride light rail. And the very lucky developers, those who own real estate along the planned lines or unplanned lines if they had real estate. The bankers love the bonding and Rock Products love building it. There's a few that make out on it, but the average person is subsidizing it so heavily. And remember this, right now, 99% of the travel is done in automobiles, cars and trucks. If we build all of the extensions that the poobahs are talking about building, we will have, with light rail, buses, and everything together, only 1% of the population riding on light rail. And if you take, on transit, and if you take light rail only, it is 0.5%. I had to correct, you mentioned it was wrong. The people who gave those numbers to the city of Phoenix did not acquit themselves well.
Well, but again,
when they gave that 2 to 4%.
Yes,
if
right.
we had 4% of people riding light rail, it's unbelievable. That's 0.5%. That's off by a factor of 8.
But again, support. I got
Eight.
you. I got the numbers there. But again, I think what the supporters will say, what the mayor has said on the show, and I think Councilwoman Thelda Williams said as well, is that yes, you have all that. But that is secondary to moving Phoenix forward, making Phoenix a greater city, giving the infrastructure a chance to build around light rail so that in the future, when the ridership's already at 2020 levels, they say, when that ridership improves, increases, you're ready, set, go.
If you double ridership, it's still only going to be 1% of people riding transit or riding light rail, if you double the numbers. So that's like saying that I have one boyfriend and now I doubled the men I'm dating in my life and I have 2 boyfriends. You are talking with such a pittance, yet they get, for transportation, they get like 16% of the budget. I'm willing to give them 1% of the transit tax since that's all that will ride it. Do you follow me?
I do.
Where is the morality of taxing people, maybe a single mother, so that a attorney who can make $400,000 a year gets subsidized most of his trip to come down Central?
And that gets into the user tax argument. We can kind of get to that a little bit, but we've only got a minute left here, and I want to again come back to kind of what I talked about originally, and that is, with all the development along light rail as we see it now, would Phoenix be better off if light rail had never been built?
Oh, absolutely. They'd be better off pollution and congestion, and then it's your opportunity cost. You've got to prioritize. Sal DiCicio's wonderful column where he says, look, when you have a limited amount of money, prioritize what you want. You are well aware our infrastructure is crumbling. Our roads, what do people care about most is potholes and roads and getting where they want to go.
Well, I think this tax law is supposed to address that. It's supposed to address street improvement.
Won't. Light rail always sucks everything away, and what they end up doing are people who are happily riding buses, which can move and are portable, can follow transportation shifts. Then money is sucked from the buses. In fact, they sued successfully in California because light rail gobbles it all up.
Last question. We've got to let you go here because we're running out of time.
I'll be back.
Yeah. In Scottsdale, you're involved with efforts to keep light rail from happening in Scottsdale, which just hasn't happened. You're against this. Would you support any light rail anywhere?
No, light rail has shown to be in all 23 cities where it is, has decreased the quality of life in every one of them, and I have the papers to show that.
Well, all right. Becky, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, fun, Ted, fun.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation Center for Education and Workforce has a new report out that looks at the country's K-12 education systems and identifies leaders and laggards among the 50 states. Here to discuss the rather sobering results for Arizona is Pearl Chang-Esau, President and CEO of Expect More Arizona, an education group. We've had you on before. Good to see you again.
Great to see you, Ted.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, with this report, overall, it didn't look all that good for Arizona. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, it's certainly concerning that our overall academic achievement score was a D, and it was also a D for achievement from low-income students in our state. And you know, when we look at college and career readiness, we didn't score so high. And that's definitely a concern. You know, the Arizona Commerce Authority shared recently that almost 90% of Arizona's high growth jobs, the kinds of jobs that we want in our state, are going to require more education after high school. High school is no longer the finish line, and what these scores reflect is that our students are graduating high school unprepared for that next step.
Indeed, the academic achievement was a D. Only 28% of 4th and 8th graders were above proficient, and you mentioned low-income and minority students. And yet, return on investment, Chamber of Commerce gives a B. Parental options, Chamber of Commerce gives an A. Why aren't they transmitting and transforming and making a better academic achievement result?
Yeah, it's a great question, and you know, as always with these reports, there's so much of the story you need to understand between the lines. You know, the letter grades certainly don't say it all. Mm-hmm. And on the achievement side of things, even though we received a D, the good news is that Arizona has made a lot of progress. In fact, we received high marks for the amount of progress that we've made since 2007. And there are students all across the state that are receiving a wonderful education. We've had, you know, nationally ranking high schools just, you know, mentioned recently all over the news. So it isn't that there aren't any good things going on. There are a lot of great things going on. And, you know, when you look at those couple of indicators that you just mentioned, I think they actually are illustrative of some of the important steps that we need to take. It was very clear from the U.S. Chamber report that we had a B on return on investment. Generally speaking, we're pretty efficient, which means that, you know, if we fund education, we are likely to see outcomes.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of the equation, honestly. It's that, you know, we're one of the lowest per pupil funded states in the country. We've dramatically cut funding for education since 2008. As you know, we're in the middle of a court battle right now trying to get some of that inflation funding back, and we still haven't gotten back to 2008 levels pre-recession. So, you know, I think a big thing is that we need to build the public will. We need to help voters understand why education is so important to their own quality of life, even if they don't have kids in the school system.
And again, 21st century teacher force, that category a C-, not good at removing ineffective teachers, I think the Chamber kind of mentioned there. You mentioned the fact that the inflation adjusted, that will be addressed by the legislature, no doubt, unless the courts continue to make that decision. But again, lawmakers in Arizona, for the most part, elected lawmakers at the legislature, are fighting this, the governor, fighting this as part of Arizona's fiscal concerns. How do you transform, again, those concerns into getting just getting up to a C from the Chamber of Commerce regarding academic achievement?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, I think so much of it is about building voter will. You know, only a small percentage of Arizonans are actually parents with school-age children. And so a lot of this is about educating voters on why the quality of education system in their community is vitally important to the economy, but also, you know, their local property values, crime rates. There are reasons why everybody has to support education and has a role to play.
Is that the nature of the beast, though? Because so many people here have retired, or so many people here just simply don't have children, or paid what they thought was their taxes and their dues to school systems back east or in the Midwest. That seems to be a common theme over the years. How do you break through that?
No, I think we got to break through. You know, it's got to be absolutely our top priority to help voters understand, look, we're worried about the economy, we're worried about jobs, we're worried about crime rates. I mean, these are all issues that turn on the quality of our education system. And that's why you see so many of business community leaders now stepping up. You've really seen business leaders engaging and supporting education. And it's because it's a workforce issue. You know, people have to make that critical connection that this is about making sure that Arizona has a strong economy.
And as far as teachers are concerned and technology, data, it seems like it was all kind of floating around the C level. That can be better as well.
Yes, it can be better. And I think I'm going to hone in on that teacher issue because there's arguably nothing more important than a high quality teacher for your child's education. And we received a C in terms of our teacher practices. I think that's a much bigger issue. We really have to think about the big picture of how we create a climate in Arizona where we can attract and retain the very best teachers from across the country.
How do you do that?
And when we're starting with some of the lowest starting salaries
Yes.
of any state in the country, that's tough. And it's not just about salary, it's about teacher autonomy. It's about whether we treat our teachers with respect and how they feel about being a part of the profession. That's a big part of it.
It's also about finding a standard, an education standard, an achievement standard, and sticking to it.
Yes.
Common Core now, whatever you want to call it, does seem to be the standard of the day. But I know teachers, and the concept of now changing from Common Core to something else, it makes them want to run down the street screaming. I mean, we've got to find something and stick to it.
Yes, we really do. We're going to be our own worst enemy if we continue to change things. We adopted higher standards. Many schools have been able to build a college and career going culture around these standards. They've revamped their practices to be higher expectations for all kids. They've invested so much into this. We've got to stick with it. We can make improvements and make it better, but we can't go back.
Indeed. And again, when the Chamber of Commerce is involved, fiscal responsibility is always important to the business community. Arizona gets a B as far as fiscal responsibility because of pensions being funded and these sorts of things. How do we get, and it's just, I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I'm a lawmaker. You come to me with this report. What do you tell me? What are you trying to convince me to do?
Well, I would really point to the indicators that show that we spend our money well, right? We did well with return on investment. We did well with fiscal responsibility. We're efficient. We're a good investment, and that's what I'd say to our state lawmakers is that you should invest more in education because clearly, we are able to produce an outcome and a return on that investment.
Anything in this report surprise you?
Well, not a surprise necessarily, but I think that one of the most important things to call out was that we didn't get a great grade on, our state assessment being a realistic measurement of whether our kids were actually on track to be successful after high school. And I think that's really important to note because the good news is the state has taken some very important steps to change the assessment, and we're going to be rolling out a new assessment in schools this year.
And that post-secondary workforce readiness, that D, that's glaring, and that's something this has got to change.
Right, and that's a compilation of all these factors coming together, right? It's about graduating high schoolers who are ready for college, ready for career training, and we know that's going to be necessary for the jobs of today and tomorrow.
All right, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Art Beat looks at an arts collaboration in Scottsdale. The Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts and the Scottsdale International Film Festival are teaming up to share resources and offer expanded film programs. Scottsdale International Film Festival founder and executive director Amy Ettinger is here to talk about the new collaboration. Welcome to Arizona Horizon.
Thank you.
This must be pretty exciting. Talk to us about this.
It's thrilling. I'm ecstatic about it, and I think the Scottsdale Center for the Arts has been very supportive. I have been working and nurturing the Scottsdale Film Festival itself for 14 years. And the infrastructure and getting it just tweaked to the point where I felt like we had this perfectly well-oiled machine it culminated. And I thought, now's the time to approach the Center for the Arts and the Cultural Council and ask them if they'd like to partner. We had worked together informally over the years on a project here and there. and they were very receptive to the idea.
And how does that partnership help you?
Well, I've been working sort of with a team of 130 volunteers over the years, and that's good, but volunteers are, you know, mercurial. They're kind of like herding cats. And the Center for the Arts and the Cultural Council has an actual resource base. They have people who are tasked to do things like PR and fundraising and run the box office. And so there will be people, not just myself and volunteers now, people who are actually paid to do those things, and they do them very well.
And this will give you an opportunity to grow the festival. In what ways? How do you see that expansion?
Well, you know, Scottsdale deserves to have a very high-profile film festival, and this is, to a degree within the marketplace, a very high-profile film festival. I'd like to see it expand beyond the realms of the city proper. Filmmakers outside the market in international, global areas know the name Scottsdale, but I'd like to get more star power here. I'd like to see more people from outside the market come as a destination event. It started out as just a little local homegrown thing for people to do in their backyard, but I think that the city and the festival deserve to grow.
And the festival, again, this year starts October 9th, correct?
Yes.
5-day
13th.
festival still?
Yes.
Will that partnership start next year?
So the partnership starts January 1st.
Okay.
But we are holding our opening night at the Center for the Arts, which is Thursday, October 9th. It's all day the 9th, and then the opening night film is also there. And that's one whole day of programming at the Center for the Arts, and then we move to the Harkins Shea 14.
When it comes to, and you curate these festivals, and when it comes to international films, what do you look for? I mean, what makes an international film that you think fits in Scottsdale?
It's an excellent question. It's not so much about whether or not it fits in Scottsdale. It's looking for a balance, and it always has been, between ethnicities and religions and genres, you know, comedy, drama, documentary. I want somebody to sit there and say, I'd like to travel to that place. And it took me a long time to break outside the bounds of these smaller films that made people want to go to Patagonia or to Bhutan or Burkina Faso. And I finally started bookending the festival with big Hollywood studio releases to bring in new audiences, because it was a way to lure them there to see the smaller films.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm always looking for with a 5-day festival and 55 films and 70 screenings. You can't do everything, but I certainly try.
Are there films that you look at and you go, they're just going to love this one, and it bombs? And there are films you go, I guess we'll go ahead and put it on there, and it explodes. I mean, can you gauge audiences that well, or is it just kind of a...
No, I think at least the audience that comes to this festival, I think I've got them pegged pretty well now, and I usually know what's going to do very well, and I usually try not to put in anything I think is going to bomb. There's always a film that underperforms, but I also know that I put it in there mostly because if even 5 or 10 people see it, it will be rewarding to me that somebody will have seen something new and kind of eye-opening. But for the most part, what I'm trying to do is to keep people coming back. Mm-hmm. So I think I serve up a lot of films that are accessible to different core groups of people. So there's blocks of programming, for instance.
Okay, so basically it's not, and you don't want to run the same kind of film over and over and over again, obviously.
No, not at all.
Harkins Theater, are you still working with them?
Yes, at the Shea 14.
And that will continue after the collaboration?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
They can't do it without the Harkins Theater because they only have one screen over at the Center for the Performing Arts right now, but we hope to change that. And I'm hoping to do a film series that will last throughout the course of the year over at the Center for the Arts too. That's part of the plan.
I was going to say, for a year-round now event, for year-round changes for you in the festival, I mean, what happens? Well, more programming, more festivals? I mean, what's going to happen?
Well, I have been doing a Discovery film series for them for the last several seasons, and that's sort of like a seedling for what I'd like to see happen, which would be to have a series of films that run all year long that are maybe retrospective, maybe repertory, working with some of the interesting departments, for instance, CSI, that's what they call themselves over at ASU, the Center for Science and Imagination. We're working on something that we think is going to be really neat, having to do with Frankenstein. So there's a whole Frankenstein 100-year celebration that's coming up. So that's the sort of thing I think people can look forward to, is us tapping into the popular culture, a vein of sorts,
Yes.
for an ongoing period of time. Plus, the Center for the Arts celebrates its 40th anniversary next year, so we should do something around that, and it'll be our 15th.
Well, congratulations on this, and good luck, and we'll look forward to seeing the Scottsdale Film Festival expanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ScottsdaleFilmFestival.com.
There, all right, very good, thank you. Thursday on Arizona Horizon, we will have a debate on Proposition 304, which calls for state lawmakers to receive a pay raise, and we'll visit with a couple of local chefs to discuss Arizona Restaurant Week. That's Thursday evening at 5:30 and 11 after the Roosevelts on Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.